Unless you're gonna talk about it.
Well, right, and I don't think,
But I brought lunch just in case.
Oh, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me? Yes, all right. Welcome. And it is 10:03, and I'd like to call the Kane County Board meeting of July 12th, 2022 to order. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Join the underground.
Alan, present. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Bates,
Bates here.
Berman,
Herman's here.
Brown,
Brown here.
Davis,
Davis here.
Ford,
40 here.
Fraz, Gums,
Comes here.
Iqbal,
Iqbal here.
Kenyon,
Sure.
Caius,
Highest present.
Opie,
Hope is here.
Leonard,
Hunter here.
Lewis,
Lewis here.
Martin,
Martin present.
Molina,
Molina present.
Sanchez,
Sanchez present.
Shepro,
Shepro present.
Silva,
Silva is here.
Strathman,
Effman here.
Surgis,
Sturgis here.
Tepe,
Steppy here.
Wallace,
Wallace here.
and Winnicky.
Present.
You have a quorum.
Very good. Welcome, everybody. Who's in charge of doing the Pledge of Allegiance? Mr. Ford.
My pleasure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty. I'm gonna figure out what the phrasing is for when you don't do the pause before.
Oh, you're kidding. Oh, because of the flag.
Our
Sorry. For our invocation today, I have a friend of mine's here, Dr. Vincent Gaddis, who holds a PhD in the history from Northern Illinois University with over 25 years of teaching experience in higher education. He is currently professor of history at Elgin Community College and an adjunct professor at Northern Seminary, where he teaches on the history of the urban church. Dr. Gaddis writes and researches on issues of race, class, social justice, and a frequent workshop presenter of facilitators on these issues. He currently, if he will stand up while I'm talking, he don't mind. He currently serves as a chair on a criminal justice committee for the DuPage NAACP, the Aurora Cities Review Board, and is past board member of the African American Employee Advisory Council for the state of Illinois, the City of Aurora Human Relations Commission, and the African American Family Commissions, and the advisory board for Northern Illinois Jobs with Justice. Dr. Gaddis was ordained as a minister and a pastor in 2001, currently serves on the chaplain team of the Kane County Sheriff Department. He is married to his lovely bride, Kathy, who is a great singer. He doesn't sing, but his wife does. Has two sons, Lewis and Clinton, and three grandchildren, Cosmo, Lewis II, and Isaac. I just want to say one more thing. This is a gentleman I want to hear doing Black History Month. So here he is now, finally.
Oh, Mr. Gaddis, welcome. And I assume the two of you are good friends because usually you don't tell somebody, just stand up.
Yes, I've learned to, follow directions from Ron. So he is a great friend, and it is an honor to be here this morning with you all and with you. Let us pray. Lord of light, who is love, who is creator of the universe, we pray a blessing on these your servants today. Fill them with your grace, your joy, and your wisdom. Let them do their work today with an eye on your great commandment to love thy neighbor. That your love is to all, regardless of race, class, gender identity, or nationality. Let these your servants do their work with you in mind, asking the most important question: where is the love in what we do? Let this board be a beacon to our nation and our state, that people of goodwill with grace in their hearts can create policy that brings about love in public, which is justice. Let that justice run down like a river and righteousness like a mighty stream. Bless their work, their families, Kane County, and bring peace to us all. Amen.
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 Nice. That was lovely. Thank you so much. Now, may I please have that was very touching. Thank you. Very touching indeed. May I please have a motion and a second to approve both the May 18th and the June 14th, 2022 minutes?
Caius move.
Mr. Kenyon seconds. And clerk, when you're ready, please call the roll.
Ellen,
Allen, aye.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Brown,
Brown, yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Fraz, Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Yes.
Opie,
Yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Shepro,
Shepherd, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surgis,
Burgess, yes.
Tepe,
Pepe, yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
Winnicki.
Yes.
It passes.
Passes. Thank you. Now we're on to our public comment, and as a matter of protocol, we ask that our speakers who are registered today refrain from statements, remarks, or conduct that may become disruptive to the conduct of the county board or which may cause a disturbance. I believe
Oh, we have Katrina, Katrina Perry.
is Katrina Perry here? No? Okay. And Katie Botke? And Katie, is this on agenda or off agenda? Okay, so you'll have 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Last month, this space felt more like a courtroom than a church that it is. Just as Gun Violence Awareness Day resolution was to be announced, we were told about an ongoing situation, something about a man with a gun requesting to speak with the sheriff. The people against gun violence were up here wearing their orange shirts. What are the odds in Kane County that such an incident would be happening on that day and at that time? It was perfect timing, almost like a scene from an episode of Perry Mason. Number one, the report of a man with a gun. Number two, the emotional reaction in a courtroom. Number three, the announcement of gun violence awareness resolution and a proposed gun buyback program coordinated with the same sheriff who was risking his life talking down a man with a gun. Problem, reaction, solution. Hegelian dialectic, it's very effective. Now about the resolution. It should be noted that this board or committee did not draft the resolution. You just filled in the blanks. I did a search on the internet and found counties, cities all around the country with the exact same wording, only personalized with certain names and numbers. I call these Mad Lib resolutions because they remind me of the books we used to play with in junior high. I believe we the people deserve to know who's actually writing these resolutions. Barack Obama, George Soros, Pope Francis, Queen Elizabeth, Arturo Sosa. As far as the gun restricting laws, there are none. There are statutes and ordinances which are nothing but corporate bylaws for those who live and work within the corporation. Those are not laws. Cities, states, and counties cannot pass and enforce laws that violate the US Constitution. We the people never gave you that authority. Our sheriff and his deputies should be protecting our unalienable rights from government and corporate overreach. The law of the land is this: a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. As far as any red flag laws or programs, here's how red flag programs work. I was in the District of Columbia on January 6th last year. I used my debit card to buy a train ticket from Virginia, where I was staying, to DC. My bank shared that fact with the feds, and the feds shared that fact with Facebook, and Facebook suspended me, even though I was assembled peacefully, which is my unalienable right, protected by the First Amendment of the US Constitution. That's how red flag programs work. They don't. At the last big school shooting in Texas, well-armed police waited outside for over an hour while children and teachers were being gunned down inside. Same happened at Parkland, Orlando, Paris, and elsewhere. Every school shooter we know about was previously on the radar of police and the feds.
Time is up.
We need arms more today than we ever did. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. As a follow-up to what Ms. Bodke said, I would like us just to remember and reflect on what happened here on July 4th in Highland Park. And many of us may have met the mayor during her campaign for Supreme Courts. She certainly visited quite frequently here in Kane County, and she was the mayor who years ago passed an ordinance not allowing a certain type of gun in Highland Park. That certain type of gun was used to senselessly kill a number of people. And I'm not reflecting on whether or not this gun was appropriate and whether the man's actions were not appropriate. But what I would like to reflect on is the impact that it had on the children of Highland Park. And how can we forget that little boy covered in blood as his father gave his life to save that child? 2 years old, lost both parents. How can we not remember the child now who's coming out of surgery only to discover that he no longer will be able to walk again because his spine was severed because of senseless gun violence, a random act of anger, frustration. How can we not forget what happened here at Pratt? And what happened at Northern Illinois University? So these are things I would like to reflect on. I think we all need to reflect on those. Supporting the Second Amendment. We're all in support of the Second Amendment, but none of us could possibly think about supporting killing of our children. So, Ms. Bodke, your comments were fortuitous. Because it indeed is a very challenging, very, very difficult question and issue that we have to deal with both on the national as well as the local level. So thank you for sharing your words and your concerns. So today, the heroes of Highland Park are reflected here because we have a hero that posthumously we're going to be recognizing. There are people that we have seen who have recognized here before in Kane County that have gone out of their way to help another individual without even thought about what they'd be doing to themselves and their own life that they would be risking simply to save somebody else. So because we'll have a large presentation, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to move to the other podium because I want to bring this incredible group of family members and extended family members together for this presentation. Where's Scott? Yes. Very good. This is something pretty remarkable that we're about to do. And I wish I didn't have to do it. The county board was asked by the Carnegie Hero Fund Commission to present the Carnegie Medal to the family of Mr. Peter Rosengren, which is behind me. Mrs. Maura Rosengren has joined us with her children, and extended family will be coming up soon. Let me begin by providing a little background for you. The Carnegie Hero Fund Commission was established in April 15th, 1904 by Andrew Carnegie to recognize outstanding acts of selfless heroism performed in the United States and Canada. The commission awards the Carnegie Medal to those who risk their lives to an extraordinary degree while saving or attempting to save the lives of others. This single event that stimulated Mr. Carnegie to organize the fund was the Harwick mine disaster near Pittsburgh in January of 1904, which claimed 181 lives. The victims included an engineer and a miner who went into the stricken mine in a valiant attempt to rescue others. The tragedy and the sacrifices so moved Mr. Carnegie that he promptly took action on the then novel idea of honoring and helping heroes of civilization. The commission's deed of trust established a $5 million fund to recognize persons in peaceful vocations who act to preserve or rescue their fellows. Mr. Carnegie specified that each hero to be recognized or the next of kin and was to receive a medal, which is here, reciting the heroic deed it commemorated. The commission was empowered to make monetary grants as well, given to the heroes or the next of kin in case of death. The grants include continuing support, scholarship assistance, which will be needed. Oh, the three beautiful boys, and death benefits. More than $40 million has been given to more than 10,000 awardees or their survivors over the life of the fund. Now, this award today is presented to newspaper executive Peter Rosengren. As you can see, Peter's up there on the screen. He was a 42-year-old resident of Batavia, Illinois, who drowned on March 28th, 2021. After helping to rescue a 9-year-old boy from drowning in rough water in the Gulf of Mexico off of Miramar Beach, Florida. The boy was carried away from the shore into deep water. Mr. Rosengren swam to the boy, but they were separated by rough waves and Rosengren lost consciousness. Others using safety equipment ultimately rescued the boy and Mr. Rosengren, who was unfortunately unresponsive. Because of Mr. Rosengren's heroic efforts, the boy recovered and was treated at the hospital. Attempts to revive Mr. Rosengren was unsuccessful. He drowned. I am here today to present this award, as is the mayor of Batavia, Mr. Shelkey, and Scott Stone, president and chief operating officer of the Daily Herald Media Group, where Mr. Rosengren worked as vice president of sales and digital strategies, to please join me in this presentation. And I would like Mr. Mayor Shelkey, if you would like to say a few words, please.
Well, thank you. It's already been said what happened. This is a very tragic event in our community and one that we felt very bad about. And we have his family here today to receive this. This is a high honor in the world of the Carnegie Foundation coming forth and citing this particular example. I just want to share a brief story. I got to know Pete a little bit during this short time that they were in Batavia before this happened. He got himself very involved in the baseball program in Batavia. And there was a need at the moment when he got involved that they needed to do a couple of things. One, they were looking to do an indoor facility that they could use year round. And for them to do this, we had to kind of change the city zoning ordinance a little bit, but he knew what we needed to do. And he and I talked and we got that done real quick. The other thing that they wanted to do was we at our West Side Cemetery, we have a large section of it that we've allowed the Batavia Boys Baseball Program to use for a number of years. And so we needed to do some refinements there about where people parked their cars and where they walked and whatever. So I had a meeting with Pete and a couple other gentlemen from the baseball program, and they came over to the cemetery with me. And we walked around and I proceeded to tell them, and I think this is kind of ironic that I tell this story before this body, because I told them, I said, right outside the outfield walls, there are two very prominent Batavia people buried. One is a gentleman by the name of Sam Rotolo, who was the principal of the first junior high school program in Batavia, beloved by thousands of kids in the community. I ended up being given one of the eulogies at his funeral, and I was a pallbearer. And before that, Sam and I had been in the cemetery on some other stuff, and he had mentioned to me about how he wanted to be buried down there near where the baseball field was, because he could then be near all the kids all the time. So then the other person that is buried there is a gentleman by the name of Philip B. Elstrom. And Philip B. Elstrom, I gave the eulogy at his funeral, and he talked with me about being in the cemetery. And his thing was he wanted to be down there by the baseball field because many of you know he was very instrumental in the Cougars Stadium construction out on Fabian Parkway. So we have two gentlemen right outside the walls of this thing that both of them, as Phil Elstrom said to me, I hope they hit some home runs and they land on my grave. And so I think that this kind of speaks to everything that Pete was all about, as far as he wanted to, do some stuff that was good. So I told him these two stories I just told you. And when I got done, I think Pete was recognized in Batavia as a husband, a father, and as a citizen, and as a model of excellence in all those roles he played. But beyond that, Pete says to me, he says, I think I really made the right decision in moving to Batavia, because he says, when you got people like this that are here forever, they tell the story you just told me. He says, this is a very special place on the face of the earth, and I'm glad I have my family here. So I share that with you today because that was his comments to me. And I think that speaks well of the man that we're honoring, and the tragedy that surrounds his death, but really the life that he lived really spoke to making this world a much better place for us all to live in. So I'm glad that Carnegie recognizes Pete, because he really did make a difference in making our world a greater and grander place. And it just all came together. The baseball field is down there now, surrounded by some of the good Batavia people that helped make Batavia a great place. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to add on to that, that's exactly where Pete is buried now, is just past the outfield, because all the boys have played there, and Grant will play there for the next 2 years. So that's where he is, for the same reasons as those stories.
Scott, where are you? Here.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. I represent my colleagues back here. We all worked with Pete for a very long time. He not only loved Batavia, he loved the newspaper industry. And he worked at the Daily Herald for a long time. He worked at the Chicago Tribune. And it was a commitment for him. If you think about Batavia, he used to drive to Chicago every day for a long period of time, and then Arlington Heights. But Pete loved life. He was bigger than life. We wrote a lot about him after his passing. And if you want to get to know Pete, look up his stories, because there are a lot of them there. And I'm not going to go into a lot of them today, but there's some good ones. He was a great man, and he'd be honored by what you're doing today. So thank you very much.
As a Batavia resident, I'm honored to live in such a beautiful city, and knowing that there's so many people who have helped Kane County, and have also helped our children, both of Batavia as well as Kane. Yeah. So with
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
Shepro speaking. As I listened to the eloquent presentation, I had in mind a familiar quotation that we've all heard, and I wasn't sure of the source. But in the Gospel according to St. John is the phrase, "Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends."
That's correct.
In this case, it wasn't even for a friend, it was somebody that he, may have never known.
The children, yeah. I agree. I agree. And if anybody who's ever swam in the waters of the Gulf know that at times they're very hard to swim in. And the riptides are incredibly strong, as are the waves. So the ocean sometimes is a gentler swim than the Gulf. So, yeah, we do have heroes throughout Kane County, and we've recognized them, and the sheriff has brought people who just step out and risk everything they have to save another soul. And God bless them. All right, so now change of transition, emotional transition to what I would consider an opportunity for all of our golfers who happen to love the sport, as well as, if I may be so bold to say, some really incredible economic development opportunities for Kane. So let me get my paperwork for this. This is a proclamation. And if I may, Mr. Leonard, would you mind reading this for me? Sure.
This proclamation number 22-242 proclaiming Kane County's endorsement of the Live Golf Invitational Chicago. Whereas the Live Golf Invitational Series launched in 2022 with the mission to modernize and supercharge the game of golf via expanded golf opportunities for fans and players alike. And whereas the 8-event series will showcase an innovative new golf format starting in June of 2022, featuring teams playing for more than $250 million in prize purses. And whereas the mission of Live Golf Invitational Series is to modernize and supercharge the game of professional golf through expanded opportunities for both players and fans alike. Whereas the Live Golf Invitation Series is coming to Kane County on September 16th through the 18th for the first Live Golf Invitational Chicago to be held at Rich Harvest Farms in Sugar Grove. And whereas earning a place as one of America's 100 greatest golf courses, Rich Harvest Farms has become a premier destination for golfers from all over the world, attracting a series of prestigious amateur and professional tournaments, including the 2009 Solheim Cup. And whereas tens of thousands of spectators are expected to come to Kane County to attend the Live Golf Invitational Chicago, and whereas previously held golf tournaments at Rich Harvest Farms have brought in millions of dollars of economic impact to local hotels, restaurants, and other businesses, Kane County hotels and restaurants are working hard to prepare the welcome of our golf guests. And whereas approximately 500 dedicated individuals will comprise the volunteer program needed to assist the tournament. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Kane County Board to endorse the Live Golf Tournament and welcome all the golfers, spectators, organizers, and volunteers to Kane County. Passed by the Kane County Board on July 12, 2022.
Do we have somebody from Rich Harvest here?
Oh, yes, we have Doug Habgood. Doug Habgood.
Mr. Hapgood, please. And I believe we should have a motion and a second first.
I would like to move that.
Okay, do I? Mr. Berman, very good. Please, and we'll call the roll then after discussion. Floor is yours, sir.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I just wanted to give you a brief preview of this event that is coming, and I think you all should be very proud that of the 5 domestic sites selected, Kane County and Rich Harvest Farms was one of those 5 and one of 8 in the world that were selected for this new league of golf that's coming and has already started. They started back just a few weeks ago in Portland and had tremendous success there. This is a little bit an overview of the new format. So typically events have a full field of golfers. We have 48 players. We play for 3 days. There's also a team aspect to this as well. And so the thing that's very interesting for those of you that are not golfers is that it begins with a shotgun start, and which means that players are set out to each of the holes and they all start at the exact same time, which fills the golf course completely. They play for 4 hours and then their round is completed. So it has been very welcomed with great success. I would say in terms of the number of people that we're expecting, it is variable. We are sort of in a beta test here. We're gathering data every minute, every hour. And I would say to you, I would expect probably 5,000 to 10,000 fans per day. I think Rich Harvest Farms has a great operational plan that we're working from the Solheim Cup and previous events when it comes to traffic and all the needs of our fans and of players and those types of transportation entities. So just a couple other things I wanted to touch on. This is the calendar for you as well, but there have been some major movements with the number of players that are coming and joining this. They are major champions, they are international players, and they are quite frankly having a great time out here, mainly because of the fact that they're playing for an exceptional amount of money. But what I've seen in the short time that this tour has been out there is that they are very engaging with the fans, they're very engaging with the community, and we've had tremendous success. So as far as the schedule of events goes, we have basically 3 days where we have practice rounds and then a pro-am where the gates are not open. The gates will not open until Friday, so there's 3 days of play. We open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Those gates open at 10. The shotgun start is at 1. We wrap up around 5 or 6 o'clock with some après golf is what they refer to it as. So it gives you a very condensed schedule. I think that you will see that there is, quite a nice buildup. There's sort of a beginning, middle, and end to each day. And with other golf events that have come before, you don't typically have that. So it's really a long, drawn out day. This makes it much more focused. And I would say the other thing that we are working on is a sort of an extensive plan. This is our schedule of events. So you can see those 3 days where the gates are closed, and then the 3 days where the gates are open. We'll really put a focus on the back end of the week. This is one other thing I did want to touch on. So although the tour does not have a network partner, they do have a state-of-the-art broadcast, which is now streaming on YouTube. But they will incorporate the community as well. I've never seen drone coverage like they provide. They provide a whole new graphic package that you have not seen in sports before. And it's very engaging for those people that can't make it to this community to experience it, but I feel like they will get a very good taste for Kane County and Rich Harvest Farms from afar. And then the last thing I'll touch on, I believe is in here as well, is that obviously one of the things is that we will collaborate with all parties here to make sure that everything from a permit to parking and traffic is taken care of. That's between Live Golf Par 5 group is the group that I work for, Rich Harvest Farms, and those community entities. This is just a list of some of the delivery partners that we will work with in the community. So there's lots of opportunities to engage in this event, to benefit from this event, and to work in this event as it comes closer and closer. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on, this is always the question that we get when we bring new events to town, but where are you going to park? What is your parking plan? Like I said, we have a very good playbook from the Solheim Cup. Rich Harvest Farms is a wonderful venue for us because it has all these open fields that we can potentially use for parking, assigned parking, ride share, all the things that come with the modern sporting event like this. So I believe that's all that we have for today. And I wanted to, again, thank you very much for this opportunity. We very much look forward to working with all of you and staff. And I also would like to invite you to come out and experience the event as my guest at the event, because I do think that you'll really find that you'll have a great time out there, and it's something to be very proud of.
Well, I for one, will take advantage of that invitation. But before I open it up for the board to discuss, I have one suggestion. And speaking of pride, on the slide where all the events are taking place internationally, under our event, it says Chicago.
Yes. Yes. I can work on that for you.
Thank you. Kane County would
It's
be
just
really
the airport,
cheap.
yes.
We turn off. the
Duly
water
noted,
when
thank you.
do things like that.
Are there any comments or questions?
Remember that.
Very good. Hearing none, clerk, could you please call the roll?
Okay, roll call. Allen,
Alan, aye.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Yes.
Brown,
Brown, yes.
Davis,
Davis abstain.
Ford.
Ford, yes.
Fraz, did you arrive? Gums.
Abstain.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Yes, yes.
Opie. Mr. Copey. Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Shepro. Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges,
Burgess abstain.
okay. Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Wallace,
Wallace abstain.
Winnicke.
Wonicky, yes.
Okay, that passes.
It passes. Very good. Yes.
Berman. As a 35-year member of the Aurora Area Convention and Visitor Bureau Board, this event is not really important to Kane County, but it's really important to the Aurora area. It's going to flood our hotels and it's going to bring
Mhm.
great amount of economic benefit to the community. And these are the kinds of things we really need to support, not only now, but in the future.
I totally agree. It'll showcase King County to its very best. And we are lucky to have Rich Harvest, a farm here authentically. My gosh, what an incredible golf course. I look forward to seeing it.
Okay, well, thank you all.
And this is from a non-golfer.
That's what we're trying to attract. So perfect. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Doug. Okay, so another richness of King County. All right, now we have a proclamation endorsing Kane County's Farmers Week. Farmers Week here.
Yes.
My notes together here. I'd like to have a motion and a second to proclaim August 7th through the 13th, which is now 2022, as Kane County's Farmers Market Week. And
Leonard
Just seconds.
seconds.
all right, it's a tie.
Kenyon.
We're all on board.
Who isn't on board with this? Are there any comments on this for Farmers Week? Yes, Ms. Winnicke.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Is 2002 a typo?
It is a typo. I saw that as well.
Okay. And why don't we proclaim, I don't know, more months as the Kane County Farmers Market Week? We've been having a farmers market in Campton probably, I think, since early June. Just a thought.
I would say that the whole month of August would be appropriate, since that seems when the harvest comes through. So perhaps next year we can adjust that, or we can amend it here on the floor.
Okay.
Oh, we need to block off a week for my birthday. Just throwing that out there.
All right, well, why don't we keep it with just that one change of 2022 instead of 2002, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And if there's no other questions on this, clerk, please call the roll.
Ellen,
Allen, aye.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Brown,
Brown, yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Guys, yes.
Hopi,
Tepe, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Shepro, Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges,
Burgess abstain.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
and Winnicke.
Yes.
Passes.
Very good. Is Jody here? Ms. Walnick? There she is. Jody. I'll turn this over to Ms. Walnick, who's going to do a presentation of Kane County's electric aggregation program and EPA Green Power Community Designation.
Good morning. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to actually turn this over to Ivy Klee, our sustainability coordinator, to introduce Sharon.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Ivy Klee. I'm Kane County's Resource Management Coordinator, and we have our electric aggregation consultant here today, Sharon Durling. She can give a little introduction to herself, and she is going to speak on the EPA Green Power Community designation that the county has received as a part of the contract that we have currently.
I've appreciated working with the county for the last 7 years on its electric aggregation program. In this year, for the first time, renewable energy was added to the program with the work of Jody Wolnick and Ivy Klee of the Environmental and Water Resources and the support of Madam Chair Mavis Gates and the Energy and Environmental Committee. So we appreciate that. This year, the EPA has designated Kane County as a green power partner community. And it's in the ranking in the top 100 of municipal entities in the United States for its green program, renewable energy. And we have a certificate to present to the Madam Chair. Next page. Just added a little bit of information about the program. In particular, there is zero hard cost to the county for this and zero added cost to residents and small business owners. The current term goes through August 23. Next page. Here's the certificate, which we'll present. Next page. And these are, you may have in your notes, the specific renewable energy credits that were purchased and retired in the name of the county. We put some equivalents. You can see it's equivalent saving 6 million pounds of coal burned or 12,000 barrels of oil consumed and so forth, just to put a picture on what this program has done, again, at zero added cost. Next page. The Department of Energy Water Resources, thank you, suggested that you might be interested in power markets because the ComEd rate has spiked markedly. Can't even say that. Partly because a large portion of the energy produced in ComEd territory comes from natural gas, and natural gas has, as we know, spiked due to basically two causes. Production is down significantly since before the pandemic, down to 12 million barrels per day in the US versus 13 before the pandemic, and we were on trend for 14. And if you'll turn the page, please. Secondly, as you know, the invasion of Ukraine has kind of ceased free energy trade and caused such disruption that prices have spiked. And thirdly, we have seen a lot of refineries close in the United States, and we're at 94% capacity, which is really high of the existing refineries. So that's just an aside, sort of an explanation of the prices that we're all seeing on our ComEd bills. And the final page is just a historical chart of the ComEd rate. This program is at exactly the ComEd rate. It mirrors the ComEd rate, again, no added cost. I put in a red asterisk just for your interest because thanks to Governor Pritzker signing CEJA last year, that red asterisk, contrary to the high spike you see on the far right of today's ComEd rate, over 11 cents per kilowatt hour, really offsets that significantly in a credit that nuclear generators are required to place on your ComEd bills. You'll see that under the distribution portion. So that gives us some relief to these outside market forces. And I have the certificate to present.
I would like to say thank you to the Energy and Environmental Committee members for taking this bold step and making us a green power city, county.
Cool. We're going to have to get a trophy wall upstairs.
Hall of Fame, Wall of Fame.
All right, I will like to turn this over now to John Martin, who has a couple of zoning petitions. I think just one.
Just one, Madam Chair. Thank you. As I just stated, we have one matter before us today, that being petition number 4594, filed by petitioner Steve Case regarding property commonly known as 1 South 140 Route 47 in Blackberry Township. The proposal is that we rezone the property from F District farming to PUD, planned unit development, to allow for a storage for a construction business and to bring the existing residential use into conformance with the zoning ordinance. There were no objectors. There was no applicable regional planning commission jurisdiction. The zoning board voted to approve with a couple of conditions, as did the development committee, also adopting those recommended stipulations. I move approval of this and request a second. Mr. Kenyon seconds. As part of the discussion, I would like to note that the district representative, Drew Fraz, I'll speak on his behalf, strongly endorsed this matter as it comes before us today. The petitioner is here, I presume, to address questions if they arise. Are there any others? Is there any other comment or question? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Ellen,
Ellen, aye.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Brown,
Brown, yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Gums. Ms. Gums. Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Opie,
Opie, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Shepro,
Shepro, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surgis,
Burgess, yes.
Tepe,
Pepe, yes.
Wallace. Wallace,
Wallace abstain.
okay, and Winnicki.
Yes.
That passes.
Motion carries. The petition is approved. Madam Chair, that concludes the zoning petitions for today.
Thank you.
Did you have a vote on that?
You can mark me as yes.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Martin. And, Mr. Case, build a beautiful building. All right, we have several appointments. One is with Mill Creek Water Reclamation District. Is anybody here to speak from Mr. Fraz? No? All right, I'd like to appoint Ben Andrea is a reappointment, and his term will expire in August 2024. And Mark Hammond is also a reappointment, and his term also will expire on 2024.
So move Surges.
That's fine.
Second Berman.
And I think we do,
Surgis and Berman, okay.
and I think we have consensus on that.
Yes.
So we have consensus, very good. Thank you.
Okay,
Vote is required.
You do a vote, that vote's fine.
okay, I'll do a vote then. Okay, Ellen,
Allen, aye.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Brown,
Brown, yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Opie,
Opie, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Shepro,
Shepro, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surgis,
Burgess, yes.
Tepe,
Pepe, yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
Winnicki.
Yes.
It passes.
Perfect. And I'd like to, let me move over here. I'd like to thank Mr. DeAndrea and Mr. Hammond for their service to Mill Creek, their community, and of course to Kane County. Water reclamation is critically important. So yeah, thank you for your volunteerism. The other is appointment that I'm taking great pride in, and Mayor Shelkey. Is he still here? There he is, sitting in the crowd. This is his appointment, again, to the PACE Board. Mayor Shelkey has served PACE Board beautifully and strongly for a number of years, and his reappointment comes with the highest recommendation. So may I have a motion and a second?
Brown moves.
Leonard seconds.
Iqbal seconds.
And Mr. Iqbal as well. Mr. Shelkey? Can you just say a few words about your work on the PACE bus? I think you've got two accomplishments, a multitude of one, but both of them, one specifically what's happening on the I-90 corridor.
Well, I thank you for considering me for another 4-year term. I haven't got quite done yet everything we want to get done. And the big one that's still laying in Kane County is the bus on the shoulder on I-88. PACE has already got a plan for it. It will probably start Sugar Grove, go through Aurora, over into DuPage County. And then once we get it through DuPage County, it will go off at Des Plaines Avenue over in River Forest. And the bus will go off and you'll be at a CTA train station then in River Forest. That'll take you immediately downtown on the train. So it would be a quick trip for anybody to do it. The city of Elgin, I cannot say enough for Mayor Captain and his staff. They worked with us very hard this last few years. And as all of you know, we now do have the bus on the shoulder on 90 going from Elgin, starting out at Randall Road and going into the transportation center at Rosemont, where you can get off the bus there and get on the CTA that runs down the middle of the Kennedy Expressway, and that gets you downtown. And we know for a fact that this new way of doing it has been very well received. We started the original one down on the Stevenson on I-55, and we started with 3 buses, and within 2 years, we had 26 buses. And now we got hit with the pandemic, so that's kind of slowed things down. But 90 is beginning to show us that they're having pretty increasing ridership from the north end of Kane County going in. So these are programs that are working. As I say, my last thing I really want to do here is get the one on 88, because I think there'll be a lot of people from central Kane County that will take the advantage of that. So that's what we're all about. That's the goal. And the tollway is working with us on it. There's just a lot of moving parts because there's parts of I-88 that are going to have to be widened out to put a bigger shoulder on. Because on these, the bus, goes onto the shoulder anytime they hit traffic, and then they can go around all the other traffic that's sitting in the normal lane. So that's kind of the idea behind it.
Oh, thank you. I wish it was there now, because I'm planning on going down that corridor later on today, take the bus. Yes, Mr. Berman.
Not only is this appointment really important to the county, but the individual who's being appointed, his representation of Kane County and everything he does in the city of Chicago is really all of us. And I want to commend him for all his years of service and what he's done for Kane County and representing us. He does a fantastic job.
And that is from one former mayor to a current mayor. Well said.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And since the mayor is here today, I think we could repeat what we said at the last meeting, that it's the generosity of the city of Batavia and its citizens that have made it possible to continue the operation of our vaccination site.
That is correct.
And I think we've already said many times how much we appreciate it, but we can say it in person.
Well, again, that was only really successful because of the cooperation we were able to get out of Pace Bus. And minute I called them, within a day, they had buses there, and we're going to nursing homes and senior citizen communities and hauling a whole bunch of people in there and 10, 20 at a time and getting those shots. And that was really very important. I just unfortunately, I had the facility sitting there when Walmart pulled the Sam's Club out, and we're still kind of dancing around with what we're going to do on that. But it's been a good use of that property to this point in time, and it's kind of central to Kane County and a lot of good things. And the city of Batavia was pleased to be able to provide all the utilities for it at no cost to the county. And I guess we are going to be reimbursed now by the federal government for our costs there because it was in support of this type of facility, but we didn't know that going in. But working with the chairman, I was very much in support of the idea that we get this going here, and we were able to do it, and thanks to the county's cooperation. So this was a multiple governmental success.
And indeed, thanks to the Batavia, otherwise, well, this would probably be our VAX hub right here. Mr. Brown.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to echo what Mr. Berman and Mr. Sharpo just commented on. I'd also like to say that I've known Jeff obviously for many of years, and over the years, he's roped me into many different opportunities, I guess I could say. So I'm happy that I could make the motion to appoint him for another 4 years of the PACE Bus Board
Thank you.
representation.
So hearing nothing else, clerk, please call the roll.
Ellen,
Ellen, absolutely aye.
Bates,
Yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Brown,
Brown, yes.
Davis,
Enthusiastic, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Kopey,
Opie, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Martin.
I just hope next time we can appoint somebody with more knowledge of local history. Yes.
Okay. Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Shepro,
Also enthusiastically, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Rathman, yes.
Surges,
Burgess, yes.
Tepe,
Happy, yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
Winnicki.
Yes.
That passes.
Oh, very good. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Go Bulldogs.
All righty. Now, are there any committee updates? Yes, sir.
The agricultural committee would like to go to the fair tomorrow. Tomorrow is the opening day and it's free admission. Free is a very good word. And just watch the residents of Kane County enjoy probably one of the better years for the fair. It's not so darn hot and it won't rain.
It's
Thank you
perfect
for
weather.
arranging that.
That's
It's, you know,
Arranging the.
The good
wet-
weather.
no,
the good weather.
I've had some conversations. Anything else? Okay, very good. And I'm looking forward to going to the fair. It should be great fun. Get that snow cone. All right, we're on to our consent agenda. Would anybody like to remove an item from the consent agenda? Oh.
Molina,
Yes,
Okay,
Mr. Eckball?
246
246.
and 254.
What was that? 46 and
246 and 254. Okay,
Gums, Madam Chair.
Ms. Gums?
22245.
Okay, very good. Mr. Berman? I'm sorry. No.
Happy.
Mr. Burby, thank you.
251 from Tippy.
Okay, and Ms. Winnicki?
247.
Ms. Molina, did you have something?
I believe we had requested the 245 be removed from consent agenda at executive, and Ms. Gums just requested it to be removed. So that was my request as well.
Okay, very good, thank you. Anybody else? Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. 22-256.
You want to do it? 256.
I beat you to it, Mike.
Is there anything else? And none online? Okay, very good. Okay, may I please have a motion to approve the following items exempted from that are items number 22-245, 22-246, 22-247, 22-251, 254, 22-256. And that's it.
He moves, or Woniki seconds.
Okay.
Bates and Winnicky.
Bates and Nikki, thank you. Is there any discussion? Yes, sir.
Surges here. Is Carl in the room? You know what, my friend, you did all that work up on I-90 and Randall Road in the middle of the night instead of in the middle of the day, and it was a nice night and day difference in the traffic flow of the community. That would have been a nightmare if they did it during the day, and just, sir, well done. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you for those comments. Else? None? Clerk, please call the roll.
This is for the consent agenda.
That's correct.
Allen.
Allen, aye.
Bates.
Bates, yes.
Berman.
Berman, yes.
Brown.
Brown, yes.
Davis.
Davis, yes.
Ford.
Ford, yes.
Gums.
Gums, yes.
Iqbal.
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon.
Yes.
Caius.
Caius, yes.
Copey.
Opie, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes.
Lewis. Lewis.
Lewis, yes.
Okay. Martin.
Martin, yes.
Molina.
Molina, yes.
Sanchez.
Sanchez, yes.
Pro.
Pro, yes.
Silva.
Silva, yes.
Strathman.
Strathman, yes.
Surges.
Surges, yes.
Tepe.
Deputy, yes.
Wallace.
Yes.
Winnicky.
Yes.
That passes.
Okay, very good.
Madam Chairman,
Yes, sir.
if we could go out of order and take 256 first, that would allow several people to go home and get on with the rest of their lives.
I think that sounds like a fantastic idea.
Big on that.
256, okay.
Alrighty. Okay, very good. The grant agreements for, that's 57, there we go. The farmer's market. Grant program. Oh, how could we not like this? May I have a motion and a second to approve item number 256?
Mike Kenyon would move.
Sanchez seconds.
And Sanchez seconds, got it.
All right, sir, the floor is yours, Mr. Kenyon.
Well, this is ongoing, our encouraging farmers markets, and people to make food locally, make it available to citizens. And this is just one way we're doing it. You can see the people there that are being recognized for the work they're doing. And it's just, we do good things here at Kane County, and this continues on with it.
So are they all represented here? Who's-
Watch them leave, and they'll go home and get back to work.
They've got a lot to work on. We have Downtown Elgin's Farmers Market, Charity Blooms, Garlic Breath Farm, the School District U46, Rustic Roads Farms, the Garden Works Project, Mighty Green Farm, Glory Gardens, Marie Wilkinson Food Pantry, the Just Food Initiative of the Fox Valley Food for Health, and Pasek, did I pronounce it? Pasek Farm, is that correct? Could you all just stand up so we can just see you? Very good. Your work is enviable. I think to many of us who attempt to grow plants, the tomato plant that I was given, I'm afraid is not in very good health. So I'm looking forward to going to a farmer's market and actually buying some good tomatoes. So is there any other comments with that? Yes, sir.
Sanchez here. I just wanted to add, Kane County, in my opinion, is very well positioned to be a leader in the state for local food. We've got a very strong urban corridor on the east side of the county, but the west side is very open for agriculture, and the work all of these groups are doing is awesome. And I can't wait to see more happen in Kane County. And I only wish we could give them more money at this time, but this is something and it's good. So.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Mr. Ford.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to say about the Marie Wilkinson Food Pantry, which is in my district. And because it's so close to my house, I pass by this area constantly. And it's great right across from the building. is where they grow everything. And it's a large, decent sized parcel. And it's great to see people out there on a consistent basis working in the area. So I know there's some people here from there, and I just applaud the efforts that are being put there. It's not easy running not-for-profits because you're always trying to make the next dollar work.
And it's a beautiful garden too.
Yes, it is.
It's very pretty.
It is
And there's some other activities there too, like chicken sometimes and things like that. So
Which is fun. Any other comments? Yes, sir.
Yes, Shepro. Sometimes takes two people to make it work, and I was in the South Elgin Jewel over the weekend and noticing that the area that's set aside for locally grown produce is getting bigger and bigger almost every week. That's obviously not the only market for these folks, but to the extent that that helps make people aware of what's available, I think that's a good thing too.
I would agree. Anybody else? Yes.
In a wonderful time this past Saturday down at the Huntley Market. And I believe the garlic people were there. But there was a gentleman selling his homemade potion of dry rubs, and I wasn't going near it. And then he sold me, and it was the best dry rub I've ever had. He was a character, and God bless him. It was delicious. So
Thank you for saving Cliff.
yeah.
And
Dry
garlic,
rub was it, man. I'm
garlic
just
is
saying.
incredibly healthy for you. So obviously we all love you and keep up the wonderful work, and we appreciate the great food and the joy you bring to Kane County with your fresh produce and homemade creations that will stir our appetites and cause some creativity in the kitchen for us all. So may I please call the roll?
Ellen,
Ellen, I.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Brown,
Brown, yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford, Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Yes.
Kopi.
Yes.
That's a yes? Was there any- Okay, thank you. Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Shepro,
Shepro, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Tepe,
Deppie, yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
Winnicky.
Yes.
It passes.
Thank you very much. Go and be productive, please.
Yeah, get to work.
Thank you very much. What a great group. How wonderful to be a farmer and have that dedication. I mean, amazing. All right. May I please have a motion and a second to approve item number 22-245?
Gums moves.
Thank you, Ms.
Berman,
Gums.
second.
Thank you, Mr. Berman. Now, discussion.
Madam Chair, Gums here. I would like to make an amendment to the language on this resolution to reflect some language that was expressed in Legislative Committee and Executive Committee. I believe the language should read that the lobbyist should report to the Legislative Committee and strike executive and the county chair. Also, in the next section where it says Dan Shellman Incorporated will report to the board chairman, or it should say report to the board chairman and the legislative committee, and strike all language after in addition to. That's a motion to amend.
Thank you.
Berman will second that motion.
Changes. Can you point out what paragraph those are in as I'm reviewing this now?
Paragraph. Let's see, third from the bottom, I believe.
1, 2, 3.
And what was the wording again? Can you read it?
Costed with all invoices.
And then it's also in the last paragraph.
Okay, so you're.
Two paragraphs.
What you're asking for are the expenses to be approved by the chairman and reported to the executive committee. That's the budget. That's
We're-
his expenses. Do you want those expenses then to be reported to legislative?
Legislative, we're gonna strike executive, go to legislative, and then county board. Because that's how it was presented.
Goes through executive.
It'll eventually go up to executive.
Right.
It'll move up the
Exactly.
ladder.
Yeah.
So initial approval then will be given to the legislative for the invoices.
Yes.
Okay. And there was one other change?
It was the same change, just in different paragraphs.
And what paragraph is that, please?
The last paragraph as well, it says that. And then we would strike the in addition,
Okay.
which is the very last sentence of that last paragraph.
Legislative committee. Yes, well, can you,
Scan and email that change to me. Yes.
okay, very good. Is everybody aware of the changes?
I'm trying to digest it.
Yeah.
So it's
So-
whereas that 1, 2, 3, fourth paragraph, invoices to be approved by the chairman
So,
and reported to the legislative committee and the county board.
Madam Chair, if I can
Oh,
clarify.
sure.
So when we presented this, it was addressed that the lobbyists would report to legislative committee. It doesn't read that way in this. We're correcting that.
Okay, that's not, is that in the whereas? That's in the no, therefore.
The no whereas.
It's the now, it's in a whereas and a now therefore.
Okay.
So you get both.
Invoices.
Executive committee on
With all invoices to be approved by the county board chairman and reported
the
to
fourth line up from the bottom.
copy of the agreement is attached
So,
to
so we're in the whereas,
make reports. It says on the very last paragraph, sent in addition, Dan Showman Inc. will make reports to the legislative committee. So, but you want the invoices to be reported to you as well. Which is fine. So it'll go,
as I understand it, the executive committee report is not eliminated. It's simply that the initial report is made to the legislative committee in accordance with our usual procedures.
Correct.
that's correct.
Got it.
Just to clean that up a little bit. Yes.
Okay, okay. I think that's fine. That's fine. Any other questions? Comments?
Could we read it one more time, please? The changes?
Sure. So it is 1, 2, 3, the fourth pair, whereas.
Fourth whereas.
Okay. And I'll just read the last, third line. Invoices to be approved by the chairman and reported to the legislative committee and the executive committee. Okay. And to the county board. Okay, so we're going through the process. And then now therefore be it resolved, that very last one, it'll go through at 1, 2, 3, 4, starting with the fourth line, 7,500. With all invoices to be approved by the county board chairman and reported to the legislative committee and executive committee and the county board.
Okay.
Thank you.
And we are taking out the sentence in the end, the in
Yes.
addition sentence?
Because that would be
It's now
redundant.
redundant.
Yeah.
But the,
So the last sentence in addition would be redundant to what we've just corrected.
but are the invoices and the reports the same?
That's what I'm thinking. Reports would be different.
Different. Invoices and reports are.
They are different. An invoice is an invoice. A report
Invoice is
is
a
a
bill.
report.
And the reports are what we want to get.
Mhm. I would suggest that you keep that sentence in. It does no harm.
Yeah.
I would say reports every month, but
Why don't we end it at legislative committee, period? So in addition,
okay,
Dan Shulman Incorporated will make reports to the legislative committee, just period, and then we'll,
This may be, okay. All right, is everybody fine with that? We're going to delete as may be requested by that committee. Yes.
In the other cases where it says invoices will be reported, should we have invoices and reports?
I think we can just leave.
You're done?
Yeah, I think we can just keep it that way.
Right.
Because an invoice is
Good
going to be an
catch, though.
invoice.
Yeah, it's different. Invoices are different from reports.
Just, you want more than just the bill.
Invoices and reports? and those
No,
are-
I think
We're done?
Okay, everybody good?
Yes.
Seeing
thank
no
you.
other changes? There we go, so you got it.
Thank you.
And you're going to send those changes to Celeste. Thank you. All right, clerk, please call the roll.
This is on the amendment, right? We'll do the amendment first. Allen,
Allen, I.
Bates,
Bates, aye.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Brown,
Brown, yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford,
Ward, yes.
Gums,
Comes, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Yes, yes.
Copy,
Kopi, no.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina abstain.
abstain, okay. Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Shepro,
Shepro, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges,
Burgess, yes.
Tepe,
Steppy, yes.
Wallace. Mr. Wallace,
Sorry, Wallace, yes.
okay. Winnicky,
Winnicky, yes.
okay, and now,
Okay, now may I please have a motion and a second to approve item number 22-245 as amended?
Comes will move.
Strathman, second. Okay, you got it.
okay,
Gums.
hang on a second, Gums and
Strathman.
second, okay.
Any discussion?
Molina.
Yes, Melina, Miss Melina.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I've already expressed my concerns regarding the need for a lobbyist at this time and the concern for the selection process during our executive meeting in June. So I won't belabor the discussion, but I will be voting no on this resolution. Thank you.
Anything else? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
As amended, Allen,
Allen, I.
Bates,
Bates, aye.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Brown,
Brown, yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford,
Ward, yes.
Gums,
Comes, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Yes, yes.
Copy. Mr. Copy,
Kopi is a no.
okay. Leonard,
Leonard, no.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, no.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Shepro,
Shepro, yes, noting that this is a interim experiment to see how it works out.
Silva,
Silva's going to be a yes.
okay. Strathman,
Yes.
Surges,
Just no.
Tepe,
Steppy, yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
and Winnicky.
Winnicky, yes.
Okay, that passes. 1, 2, 3, 4 noes.
Very good. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Item number 2-4, motion and a second to approve item number 22-246.
Sanchez moves.
Thank you, Mr.
Winnicky, seconds.
Nikki. Mr. Iqbal, I think you pulled this, right?
Yes. May I speak?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah, I'm concerned about the emergency purchase affidavit. I have read it 2-3 times. I don't see anything emergency in this affidavit. What I see is that this item was not budgeted. And now we are at the renewal month and money has to come from somewhere. On the other hand, I see that the circuit court clerk had the same issue and they had budgeted it and their item is going through without having to sign any emergency affidavit. So I'd like to know why this item was omitted from the budget and why it has become an emergency, even though the DocuSign license is an important thing. and why it was missed, and why we are having this, and why this affidavit is signed, which really does not speak to emergency.
Okay, yes.
Good morning. This is Roger Fonstock from the County IT Department. The emergency affidavit is for DocuSign, which is electronic signing.
Roger, can you put the mic
Yeah,
closer?
sure. Try and get it to adjust right, a little taller. So it's for emergency, the emergency affidavit was for electronic document signing. During COVID, the county did an emergency purchase to do electronic signatures for the state's attorney, public defender, and different offices in the court because of some of the social distancing. So during that period, we were using CARES Act funds to sign and authorize the expenses related to the DocuSign. So it was not purchased through a traditional RFP or bid. It was done as an emergency. So this has been something funded out of CARES Act and out of COVID, and we also propose to pay for it through ARP. The ARP funds have been delayed. We've been going through the process with the ARP committee. We do have a review that was conducted by the Ernst & Young folks. I believe it's in the state's attorney's office right now. The contract for the DocuSign was coming due, and we were trying to figure out, rather than terminate, how do you go about getting the contracts signed? There's additional joint purchasing agreements with a company or an organization called Omnia Partners or Sourcewell or US Communities. Those joint purchasing agreements, they're actually on the agenda today, which those are joint purchasing agreements that establish a method for competitive purchase of this exact software through Insight, which is a company that resells it. So today, by approving this, we had an emergency to sign this to keep and continue services, but our plan is to try to switch that to the Omnia Partners joint purchasing agreement in the very near future. So that's what we're working on. The emergency part of this was simply to not interrupt or stop the process of having the electronic signatures while we wait to figure out the paperwork. So I think our contract was due June 23rd. So in order to follow the full procurement process, if we went out to a bid or an RFP, we would take probably 45 days or more, which would be an interruption of service. In the county procurement code, in the state procurement code, there's no other means of signing an interim contract or doing a contract of this value other than an emergency purchase affidavit. So we did the paperwork and submitted it to try and extend it while we get to the joint purchasing agreement. So I think that's full disclosure of what we're trying to do. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Mr. Iqbal?
No, I'm concerned that it was not budgeted. I mean,
Okay.
I mean, we knew in June 20, last year in June, we knew that we had a 1-year prescription, a subscription.
Yes.
And it had to be budgeted to be renewed. So now we are here and we say it's an emergency. It should not be an emergency. We should have known a year before that it is coming, and we should have acted at that time.
I believe in the, if I may, Madam Chair.
Yes.
The ARP funds that we were applying for, we applied for them somewhere over a year ago. And we've been waiting to see how that pans out. So you're correct. We could terminate the agreement and stop signing based on the fact that we didn't get the ARP. We believe we have sufficient funds between the judicial 127 sales tax fund and the county IT funds that we can cover the costs associated with this while we determine the ARP funds for these types of things. You're going to have a lot of these types of decisions to make as a board about the things that we did during CARES Act. We did a lot of technology, a lot of growth. We deployed a lot of computers, a lot of equipment, a lot of remote work, Zoom technology, these cameras, different devices. We purchased all of that equipment to facilitate the needs during COVID. As that stuff ages and you need to relicense or replace it, we're working to try and incorporate that into different budgets in different places so that you can keep it. You can continue to use these types of things. If the board's discretion is they don't want to do that, then we would stop doing it. So I think that's the decision we're asking for is we've determined where we can pay for it through other funds that weren't budgeted, through the sales tax and through IT funds that we've managed to cut some things, do some things differently. But it certainly is the board's discretion of whether they want to do electronic signatures or not.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Yeah, I think Mr. Iqbal, as we go through all of this, the technology updates or continuation of licenses is something I think he just would like to see as we go on to next year's budget
Sure.
proposal.
It'll be in
Maybe
there.
we can call some of that out and just highlight all of the opportunities that were presented because of COVID and through the CARES Act money. And see what we have to do to continue using the technology that was all
Sure.
developed during that period of time. So some of it is 2 years old now.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you.
Okay, for 22-246, Allen.
Allen, I.
Bates.
Bates, yes.
Berman.
Berman, yes.
Brown.
Brown, yes.
Davis.
Davis, yes.
Ford.
Ford, yes.
Gums.
Gums, yes.
Iqbal.
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon.
Yes.
Caius.
Guys, yes.
Opie.
Opie, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes.
Lewis.
Lewis, yes.
Martin.
Martin, yes.
Molina.
Molina, yes.
Sanchez.
Sanchez, yes.
Shepro.
Shepro, yes.
Silva.
Silva, yes.
Strathman.
Strathman, yes.
Surges.
Sturgis, yes.
Tepe.
Happy, yes.
Wallace. Mr. Wallace. Winnicki.
Wonicky, yes.
Okay, that passes.
Okay, very good. You just pull it up.
247.
247 is next. May I please have a motion and a second to approve item number 22-247?
Wonicky moves.
Winnicki and.
Davis, second.
And Davis, Mr. Davis. All right, who pulled this?
Madam Chair, I did.
Yes, Ms. Winnicki.
I just wanted to say a few words about how fortunate we are to have Mark Armstrong as our supervisor of assessments. The way assessments are determined are sometimes difficult for some of our residents to understand. I know he receives a lot of contacts from many residents and always keeps all of the respective county board representatives updated along with the assessors and all the townships. And he just does an amazing, outstanding job. And it's my pleasure that I will vote yes on this resolution.
Oh, very nice,
Here,
very
here.
nice. Here, here.
Davis with a follow-up, which is, Barb was absolutely right in pulling this. We have the foremost expert in the state right here with us. And when other assessment people have questions, that's who they turn to. Also, for all of you engaging with your constituents when there's questions about how the levy works, there's no better person to give a good explanation on that to the public than Mark Armstrong. He does a wonderful job of it. And I encourage you all to, have him share it with you.
He makes the complicated look, well, somewhat easy.
Sure.
Yes.
Kenyon here. We
Kenyon.
were all on the board that hired Mark. And that was a
Yes.
good day.
Yeah.
A real good day. He is a leader in the state. And I think he heads the state association.
Mhm, I think
We are so lucky to have this man working for us. That's all I can say.
I think
Davis
he's-
is right again.
I think he's smiling behind that mask. Yeah.
Does that happen frequently? Yes. Mr.
Yes,
Shepherd.
Shepro, I would endorse heartily the comments of my colleagues. When Mark took over the office, we had complaints all the time. They were going up every year. Since that time, I think the way that office operates has been very fruitful in terms of getting rid of a lot of complaints before they're filed or before they have to go to hearing.
That's right.
And I think that's due to the, the positive attitude that Mark brings to the office and his enthusiasm. And I couldn't agree more with Mr. Davis' comment that we have the foremost expert, at least in the state of Illinois.
Mhm.
So I heartily endorse his return to the position.
Very good. I think sometimes we have many people who work for Kane County where their knowledge is so acute and so deep that they're intimidating because what they speak is factual. And you just can't argue with absolute fact and true knowledge. And Mr. Armstrong certainly is one of those members of our staff who brings brilliance to his office. So anything else? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Allen,
Allen, I.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Brown,
Brown, yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Kopey,
Hopi, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Shepro,
Shepro, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges,
Burgess, yes.
Tepe,
Pepe, yes.
Wallace, and Winnicke.
Wonicky, yes.
And that passes.
Okay, enthusiastically passed. All right, may I have a motion and a second to approve item number 22-251?
So move Surges.
Sanchez seconds.
Mr. Sanchez,
Yes.
I believe Mr. Tepe pulled this.
Thank you, Madam Chair. What I want to point out is that although I'm completely in favor of this motion and adding these people, I want to point out that we're going to have some serious budget implications coming up in the next few months. And this means adding 7 people and somewhere in the neighborhood of $700,000 to the budget next year. And we're looking at some serious expansion of the budget due to the Safety Act. And so I just wanted to point out that this is going to be a real tough year for budget. We all need to take a good, strong look at this. So thank you.
Any other comments? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Allen,
Allen, I.
Bates,
Bates, I.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Brown,
Brown, yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Kopey,
Hopi, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Shepro,
Shepro, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges, Tepe,
Pepe, yes.
Wallace, Winnicke.
Wonicky, yes.
And that passes.
Mr. Wallace is gone.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, may I please have a motion and a second to approve item number 22-254?
Berman move.
Caius, second.
Davis, second.
Okay. Mr.
Caius.
Caius.
Yeah.
Mr. Iqbal, I think you pulled this.
Yes. Madam Chair, this is regarding your voucher, your travel expense.
Correct.
First of all, I want to thank you for attending the meeting in downtown. It was a whole day meeting. My only concern is that you drive and you park and go through all the trouble. When I go downtown, I try to take public transportation. Maybe I'm missing something that if you can guide us why driving and parking is better than taking public transportation.
Sometimes it has, sir, to do with my schedule. Why I am a big supporter of public transportation. If I have to get back home late in the evening or early after, or if I have a meeting at 5 o'clock and public transportation will not get me there on time, I would either have to leave the meeting early or I can drive. So this was a choice to drive.
I see. Okay, thank you.
As much as I like public transportation, sometimes you have to plan a schedule, but all schedules are not that way.
Nobody enjoyed driving.
That day was easy, and today I will be going downtown and I will be taking the train.
Fix yourself for the day.
And I find very inexpensive parking.
Yeah.
Spot hero. Any other questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Allen,
Allen, I.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Burn, yes.
Brown,
Brown, yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Gums. Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Gopi,
Hopi, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Shepro,
Yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surgis,
Yes.
Tepe,
Yes.
Nikki.
Oh, Nikki, yes.
Thank you. And I'll try to take public
Yes, too.
transportation as much as I can. And enjoy it. May I please have a motion and a second to move item number 22-256?
We did that.
We did that. Remember, we moved it up. and those
Farms, you're absolutely right.
Send them out to grow us
People
food.
got out of here over half an hour ago. So look at that time we saved their lives.
We did, and much appreciated.
Chair, I have a
You don't have a-
parliamentary inquiry.
Yes, sir.
How time sensitive are these tax agent matters? I note that the hour is approaching noon, and I understand that we have a fairly more urgent matter to discuss in closed session. And unless we're planning on taking a lunch break, I would think
Is there a
for
food truck outside?
perhaps we could.
I do have to say that these are relatively time sensitive because we have delayed not doing these for some time, and this affects other people's ownerships and home and what they can do with it.
That's fairly urgent.
Yes.
It just seems like we always end up loading all of these things onto an agenda that's after long public awards and so forth. And frankly, I don't know that they get the attention they deserve when we're looking at the clock and these are all crammed in at the end of the meeting. But I brought mine.
You took another 2 minutes there. Let's get on and do it.
Just a tax agent,
Oh, well, it's your-
which was removed from the consent agenda. So, Ms. Moser, can we put these together, or do we have to approve each one separately?
Let me double check.
These are the people that bought stuff that didn't sell at the tax. They basically bought.
It's
them
cold.
as
It's really cold.
Like a vacant lot next door to them or something.
Do we have to approve it?
Yes.
We confirm that we can move all of these together and vote together. Now,
Oh.
if there's anything that you want to take out, I suggest doing that now, but otherwise you can move them all together.
Thank you. All right, would anybody like to take out any of those items? No,
Do we know what those items are?
they're in your package.
So I see that they're there. Great. But are we going to get an explanation of this?
I was going to
Together?
suggest perhaps there's a broad explanation that explains.
Could we do
what
that?
The tax agent's action is.
So we have a county appointed tax agent who is, I believe, the tax agent for around 100 of the counties that are within here. And so the tax agent works then in regards to homes where the taxes have been sold because it's maybe a foreclosure or an abandonment or something to that effect. The tax agent takes this, puts our interest, records that so that when the home is sold to another person, most of the time through an auction, we get paid back the taxes that are owed for it. So what this is doing is the tax agent works to record all of this, does that at the recorder's office, and then that information has our lien on it essentially. There is a lot of legal terms that frankly, I don't want to bore all of you with, but that is what this is for. It's authorizing those actions to continue so that when these homes are sold to somebody else, they can take them and we get compensated.
What, Mr. Martin?
Madam Chair, if appropriate, I'd like to move approval of items 22-282 through 22-286 inclusive.
Very good.
Kaya second.
Mr. Kyle seconds. Yes, Mr. Shepherd, you have a question?
So none of these involve authorizing the conveyance of any of the county's interest in those properties? I sort of thought they all did.
That it's giving away our interest in it?
Yes.
No.
I don't know, back when I worked with the board, the tax agent basically bought in our name as a bidder at the purchaser of last resort. And then in, I think, virtually all cases, worked with potential purchasers who would then purchase, allowing us to reimburse the fund from which we used to bid into our own sale.
So ASA Neerman is going to provide some clarification about these.
Good morning, Michelle Neerman on behalf, I'm sorry, Assistant State's Attorney Michelle Neerman. Yes, that is correct, Mr. Shepro. It is authorizing the execution of a deed or conveyance of the county's interest or authorize the cancellation of the appropriate certificate of purchase, as the case may be. We have Aaron Brady online who was helping to prepare these resolutions if you have specific questions. Ms. Brady, could you answer in more detail Mr. Shepro's question?
Hi, good morning. Assistant State's Attorney Aaron Brady. So I did not prepare these resolutions. These resolutions are prepared by the tax agent and then forwarded to the county for approval once the process toward deed is complete. But everything that has been described both by Mr. Shepro and Ms. Neerman about the process and what the resolutions do is accurate.
Does everybody understand?
Enough. Yes.
We have a yes. Okay, very good. With any other questions? If not, clerk, please call the roll. Oh, yes.
Just that, I don't think that we have don't have a clear understanding what we're up against with the foreclosures. This is a pretty good list here. So somewhere along the line, it'd be nice to get an idea of what we're actually up against. Yes, in Kane County.
All right.
These are not necessarily foreclosures.
Right.
They are simply the taxes didn't get paid. And I believe there was no bidder at the tax sale. Right, yeah.
With no other discussion, clerk, please call the roll.
Okay, so this is taking into account resolutions 22-282 through 286. Allen?
Allen, aye.
Okay, Bates?
Bates, yes.
Berman?
Berman, yes.
Brown?
Brown, yes.
Davis?
Davis, yes.
Ford?
Ford, yes.
Gums?
Gums, yes.
Iqbal?
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon?
Yes.
Caius?
Caius, yes.
Gopi?
Yes.
Leonard?
Leonard, yes.
Lewis?
Lewis, yes.
Martin?
Martin, yes.
Molina?
Molina, yes.
Sanchez?
Sanchez, yes.
Shepro? Shepro?
Shepro, yes.
Okay. Silva?
Silva, yes.
Strathman?
Strathman, yes.
Surgis?
Sturgis, yes.
Tepe?
Pepe, yes.
And Winnicki?
Wonicky, yes.
Passes.
Wallace is yes also.
Okay, thank you. And your vote? Mr. Wallace?
Sorry, yes.
Thank you. All right, that passes.
Okay, very good. Alrighty, no.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
I would like to move that the board go into closed session to discuss the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees pending litigation and settlement of claims.
May I have a
I'll
second?
second.
Thank you. Thank you. Clerk, please call the roll.
Okay, for closed session, Ellen,
Aye.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman, Brown,
Brown, yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford. It's gone. Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon. Yes. Caius,
Yes.
Opie,
Opie, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Shepro,
Shepro, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strackman, yes.
Burgess, yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
and Winnicke.
Oh, Nikki, yes.
It passes.
Could I suggest a
Okay, everybody online, please accept your invite to go into the closed session. Be aware that we are live streaming. So until I tell you the word that we
Deborah, how are
are
you?
effectively in
Good.
closed session, be aware anything you say will be going out live to the public. Please accept your invites.
Okay, I'm on the phone.
Could you please?
Is this Collison?
Yeah. Maybe miss.
We're going to have about a 5-minute break.
Girl, freaking seconds ever in my life. Oh, well, they heat up the place. Spent and gone.
No, if they're gonna heat it up. He said it was.
5 minutes. I can go to the bathroom.
We are missing a couple of people have not joined the closed session.
Sorry.
Oh, sure. I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, my goodness.
Is there anybody hearing my voice that feels they should be in the closed session?
Say it.
Probably true. You're by having less.
I know. Not one of the.
Almost there.
The New Orleans
Yeah.
rub is not spicy.
Nor, I bet it's
It's
delicious.
a different flavor, but it's not
Really.
Cajun.
suffers
It's not
that
spicy.
winter.
Now, and
And I don't.
That's quite an endorsement.
it's quite an endorsement. His passion was
I'm in there.
bubbling over. I was like, I'll take two. That's fine.
Not all New Orleans.
Okay, you are back in open session.
Okay, we are back in open session. Clerk, please call the roll.
Cajun country's nowhere near.
Okay, roll call.
Really?
Allen,
Ellen present.
Bates,
Bates here.
Berman,
Herman's here.
Brown,
Here.
Davis,
Davis here.
Ford is not here. Froz not. Gums,
Gums here.
Iqbal,
Iqbal is present.
Kenyon, Caius,
Caius present.
Kopi,
Is here.
thank you, Leonard,
Leonard here.
Lewis,
Lewis here.
Martin.
Present.
Okay, Molina,
Molina present.
Sanchez,
Sanchez present.
Shepro,
Did we do that already?
Shepro,
Rose here.
Silva,
Silva is here.
Strathman,
That's been here.
Surgis,
We're just here.
Tepe,
Deppie here.
Wallace.
Here.
And Winnicki.
Present.
No, you have a quorum.
All righty. Almost done. May I please have a motion and a second to approve the settlement in case number 18 WC 23065 in the amount of $122,080.50.
Caius move.
32. 132.
That's the right amount.
132.
Yeah, it's plus
Is-
the 10.
Oh, plus $10,000 for medical.
Wait, which number was it, Madam Chair?
132000 is the motion.
It's number one. Okay, everybody gets that? Any questions? Not, clerk, please call the roll.
Allen,
Allen, aye.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Herman, yes.
Brown,
Brown, yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Kopi,
Kopi, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Shepro,
Oh, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
That's been yes.
Surgis,
Burgess, yes.
Tepe,
Deppie, yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
Winnicki.
Yes.
Passes.
Okay, very good. May I please have a motion and a second to settle case number 20 WC 27332 in the amount of $5,174.45.
So move Surges.
Bates and Surgis move. Okay.
Discussion?
Surgis.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Okay, Ellen,
Allen, aye.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Herman, yes.
Brown,
Brown, yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Kopi,
Kopi, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis. Lewis. Martin.
Martin, yes.
Sorry,
Molina?
Lewis, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Martin
welcome.
Liggett is yes. Melina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Shepro,
Oh, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Rathman,
That's been yes.
Surgis,
Burgess, yes.
Tepe,
Deppie, yes.
Wallace.
Wallace, yes.
Thank you. And Winnicki
Winnicki, yes.
passes.
Okay, very good. May I please have a motion and a second to approve the settlement in case number 21 WC 28215 in the amount of $19,734.89.
Burgess moves.
Shepro seconds.
Discussion?
Surgis,
Clerk, please call the roll.
Second. Okay, Ellen,
Allen, aye.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Herman, yes.
Brown,
Brown, yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Kopi,
Kopi, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Shepro,
Shepro, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Rathman,
That's been yes.
Surgis,
Burgess, yes.
Tepe,
Steffi, yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
and Winnicki.
Yes.
Passes.
Insert the incorrect.
Four.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Seven.
Was it $19,734.89?
2, 2, 3, 4.
Not to exceed.
Okay, we've got it. Okay.
I don't understand.
All right. May I have a motion, a second, to approve the settlement of a copyright claim, image rights in the amount of $1,000?
Leonard moves.
Ron, Cliff.
I'll move. Gums seconds. Discussion. Clerk, please call the roll.
Right. Ellen,
Alan, I.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Brown,
Brown, yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Well, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Hopi. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
It was a yes.
Thank you. Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Shepro,
Yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges,
Burgess, yes.
Tepe,
Steffi, yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
Winnicki.
Yes.
Passes.
Very good. May I please have a motion and a second to approve item number 22-287?
Caius move.
Burgess.
Winnicki seconds.
Okay. Discussion?
I have Caius and Winnicki.
Seeing no. dis-
Burgess and Wonicky.
Sir,
No, I have
Yes.
Caius. He was close by.
Please call the roll.
Defer.
Burgess and Wonicky.
Sorry. You want Surges? Okay, we can.
Absolutely.
Just, no, it's from human service. We're just
sure.
trying to.
Services.
Clerk, whomever, clerk, just call the roll, please.
I have Surges and Winnicki. Wow. Okay, for 22-287, Allen,
Alan, I.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Brown,
Brown, yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Well, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Hopi,
Topi, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Shepro,
Yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges,
Burgess, yes.
Tepe,
Steffi, yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
and Winnicki.
Yes.
That passes.
Very good.
I'd like to move.
Oh, yes.
They have a
hold on
second.
Just a second. Okay, wait, hold on a second. Yes, sir.
Risk of incurring everyone's anger for making this meeting last another 20 seconds. I would like to have consideration of reinstating either the application of the ordinance or a redraft or whatever we need to do to have these small lawsuits resolved at the committee level by the Legal Affairs Committee. I think it's been interpreted differently over the years. I've been on this board for 7.5 years, and the board has yet to vote anything but unanimously in favor of every one of these. And when I look at 24 people who would like to do something other than sit here, and the state's attorney that sits here and everything else, I think when I began, the process was every lawyer on the board was put on the Legal Affairs Committee, which violated the technicality of the language. Whatever we need to do, we need to get rid of these small conversations. They drive us all nuts and
20 seconds is up.
it's got to be done.
Yeah. He said you're 20
I
seconds.
spent
Time's
more
up,
than
yeah.
time.
We'll look into
I
that.
apologize.
We all agree with you
Good
on
job.
that. I think that's a great idea.
I think Cliff Sturgis should take that issue.
We're happy to do that. No, it should be in legal
Human
affairs.
No, it's already through legal affairs. I think we're ready. Dun, dun, dun.
Looks like move we adjourn at 12:35. Davis still seconds.
Okay. To meet on August 9th, please.
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.